watch them later on if they find time or interest or need. So thank you all for being here. I do expect that we will have people trickling in as time goes on. I just want to welcome all of you and just thank each of you for being on here. This group has been very active in getting a lot of things done to assist our small businesses on Main Street and in the downtown district. And we have a lot of doers on this call, so I greatly appreciate all of you. We're going to start off by doing some project updates for folks so that they can hear some of the initiatives that have come out of the calls, and so that folks can connect and understand the action items that are in the process in motion. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with Betsy Arnson, who really took the lead on the small business survey that we sent out a few weeks ago. Betsy helped to create it and also to help us cull all of the great feedback that we had. We had about 20 people who responded to it, so we got a really good cross-section of the business makeup in downtown. And we got a lot of really, really great information about what these businesses need to be safely reopening. So Betsy, if you want to give us a synopsis of the survey results.
Yes, thank you. Okay, so thank you to the 20 businesses who completed the survey of needs for reopening. The group of 20 represents a variety of kinds of businesses, which makes the results relevant for the larger group. In an effort to support community engagement and community collaboration, the Heart of Ellsworth grouped all the people who responded with their number 1 or number 2 priority in the category of what supplies, what equipment, and what group assistance would be valuable. Then Cara sent grouped emails to those who indicated that they need sidewalk space, redesign of their interior flow, those who need disinfectant, face coverings, hand sanitizer, gloves, plexi, and messaging, and cleaning trainings. So each one who put that as number 1 or number 2 had their own set of emails. Then she asked each group to communicate their needs to each other, help each other, and then report back. So we will hear these report outs in this meeting.
All right, thank you so much, Betsy. It was really great. We got a lot of response from the emails that Betsy and I sent out last week. I was actually surprised how much kind of chatter it kind of created between the businesses that had those top priorities. So as a result of that, we have a couple of projects that are in motion. And so I'm going to excuse me, call on, call on Elsie now, Elsie Fleming of Healthy Acadia, to talk about our first initiative that we are actually, hold on, I'm going to wait. I'm going to actually call on Nicole Grahowski to talk about the initiative that's already sort of out on the street and going.
Sure thing. Great to see you guys all again this week. New faces, familiar faces. So as you know, last week before the holiday weekend, downtown business community launched sort of positive, upbeat posters welcoming people back to the stores and restaurants and nonprofits that are open, with 2 signs. The first sign was sort of a general message about what we're asking visitors to do and what we're offering in return in terms of safety, because consumer confidence is, of course, key to the successful reopening, as well as having all the correct CDC protocols happening. And the second sign was for businesses that were requiring masks for entry in order to show guests, customers that, you know, depending on your choice to wear a mask or not, there are many ways that a business or restaurant can serve you. It's just really your choice how you want to interact with those facilities. So those are the 2 signs that the Heart of Ellsworth board circulated to businesses that were open last Friday in advance of the meeting, or excuse me, in advance of the holiday weekend. But the update is, I know some businesses will be opening soon, or, are planning this. So if you haven't been open, or you've been open and you didn't get signs, Heart of Ellsworth is printing more signs today that will be available this weekend. So people can let Cara know that you have an interest in getting those signs delivered to you. We're definitely trying to just make it easy for businesses to get a sign, put it up, and continue to run your operations as you would. They're also available on the Heart of Ellsworth website to download. So if you have your own ability to print, or there are other businesses in town that aren't in the downtown that are interested in this design, they are welcome to use them from that website. I think it's been really positive. I think we've heard from some businesses have been really happy with them so far. Cara actually shared the link to the posters in the chat. So I think it's really great for our community, and we're getting good acknowledgement elsewhere. So the question that I wanted to pose to you guys was, we've heard from Elsie at Healthy Acadia, for instance, who's working with other communities, that they might have an interest in adapting some of the messaging. Obviously, you wouldn't say stay Wellsworth if you were in Blue Hill, but at least thinking about the bullet points of what concerns and adaptations businesses have made. But these posters, they're something that I was happy to help design, but they came from the feedback that you all shared, and especially the business adaptation group that Shannon headed up, that I participated in. So they really are, in my mind, belong to the downtown businesses. And so I just wanted to ask if people had any, up, down on sharing those more broadly. And of course, anyone can see them and adapt them however they would, I think. But the question is, how, shall I share my files, or what would I would like to add that I've heard from reps in other parts of the state, like Southern Maine, for instance, where they're really truly on the front line of the border, that they're interested in this sort of messaging as well, and would love to adapt what this community has created. So I just wanted to run it by folks and see how you felt about it being strictly Ellsworth, or more of a just free for all for whoever wants to use it. Getting some thumbs up. Super. All right, we're all on this together, right? Great.
I just want to add one thing to that, and speaking on a cultural level, when this was floated past us earlier this week and asked by Elsie if other communities, if we were willing to allow other communities to use our poster and adapt, basically adding, their logo or whatever it was that they needed, I personally was right away ready for anyone to use them, because that's in the spirit of Heart of Ellsworth's values. However, this was a special situation that it was not necessarily created by Heart of Ellsworth. It was created by the community of participants. And so we really felt that we needed to float this by everyone on the call. And so in the spirit of Heart of Ellsworth and our set of values that we like to operate under, we were hopeful that everybody on this call would be willing to share. So it seems to me like it's a go. So Elsie, we can talk offline about connecting you and Nicole and figuring out what you need to make that happen. But we're ready for them to be shared. So
wonderful. And I will
team.
Seen it just from it now being publicized, have had nothing but wonderful things to say about it and the design and whatnot. So they're very inspired. Awesome. Folks from outside of the Ellsworth community.
Excellent. Thank you. And Nicole, thank you so much for spearheading that and all the nice press that we as a community received around that. Ellsworth has definitely been perceived. I've received a lot of emails, and Ellsworth has definitely been perceived. Our city and our community has been perceived as though we are really leading with trying to help our businesses with Safe Reopen. So any press for Ellsworth is good press for all of us. So we're happy that that was the result of all of this. The next update, I wanted to go with Annie Sargent, if she is on the call still, as she has an update on one of the other initiatives that came. Annie, are you still on the call?
I am. I
Great.
just pulled over so I can
Oh,
talk.
thanks, Annie.
Yep. I was on the cleaning committee, sort of that, I can't remember the name of the committee, but there's a group of us meeting on Monday to organize a training for cleaning procedures and protocols. And so we just wanted to involve whoever wanted to be involved with planning it. Adult Ed is going to provide sort of the infrastructure, and Heart of Ellsworth is going to promote it and help, recruit, and Healthy Acadia is going to be involved with part of the presentation. And the idea is to get a combination of health care providers and small business people, and then the wealth of information from Healthy Acadia out to folks in a Zoom presentation. It will be, when it's ready to go, it will be offered for registration on the website, on our Adult Ed website. So any input would be greatly appreciated. The Zoom call is going to be from 4 to 5 on Monday. Is that confirmed, Cara?
It's fairly confirmed. We've had about, I think, probably 7 or 8 people respond, and everyone has responded that on Monday, June 1st, from 4 to 5 is what works for everyone so far. So we have a few more people who still need to respond, but it's looking overwhelmingly like that's going to be the time. And one thing that we wanted to do was to open that opportunity up to anyone on this call that wants to be a part of organizing that, the more the merrier. And so we just want to open that up. And if anyone is interested in being on that call, just let me know and I will send you an invite as well. We just had some really eager people who were ready to get this going, so it was pretty awesome.
So
Yeah, I feel
could you and what you're meeting on? It's cleaning.
Annie, do you want to state?
I can try. I'm not sure my reception is very good.
I can hear you fine. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's a training for businesses to put cleaning protocols in place, sort of safety, everything around opening. So some of our small businesses like Mac Revival have worked hard to put some things in place, and it would be good to get input from a variety of different folks on that. So, and I think it's important that we try to offer something like that sooner rather than later. So I'm prepared to, have something from our end, from Adult Ed end, we could put something together as early as the second week in June. But we want input. So anybody who wants to be part of that planning meeting, it would be great to get a lot of input on that.
Yeah, if anyone's interested, just stick your name in the group chat, and if you want to really make it easy for us, stick your email address in there, and then I'll just make sure you get that invite and you're added to that list. But I'm so glad to see so many people on the call that have joined in the past few minutes. So welcome to all of you.
I'm going to sign off because I'm running late for a meeting.
Annie, thank you so much for organizing. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Take care.
Take care. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Annie, for organizing that. I'm really excited that that's taking off and that another partnership has resulted from these weekly calls. The next person that I'm going to call on to give us an update, and I'm going to stick some of the links that she's going to talk about in the chat feature, Shannon Byers from SBDC and CEI. Shannon, are you? Yeah, there you are.
Hey, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon. Just a quick update on PPP. So I think everybody's probably curious kind of what's going on that. We're still waiting for final guidelines and rules on the forgiveness. We're hopeful that they'll be beneficial for anybody that is using the PPP. So stay tuned for more information on that. We do have some webinars that will be coming in June. And I think Car's going to put the link into the website for the SBDC page. And so you can see what's coming up. We haven't got the June ones listed yet, but they will be coming. You can also find recorded webinars in there. So we had some of them are a little bit stale just because things have progressed so rapidly, but there are some in there on reopening retail, service-based, hospitality businesses. So you can go on and check those out.
Yeah, Shannon, I went in and just pulled the service-based business relaunching and then the retail-based. Do you think that those are the two that make the most sense, or?
Yeah, I think those two are good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And just so all of you know, most downtowns, well, I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but a lot of downtowns do not have a small business coach that is available to all of you through SBDC and CEI. We are very lucky to have Shannon as part of our Main Street community. And a lot of you have reached out to her, but I just want you to know that that resource is there. Shannon is amazing, and we are so lucky to have her. Heart of Ellsworth has been lucky to have her leadership behind the scenes and on the calls. So I just hope that you all will reach out and just tell others too. Tell others that Shannon is here and that that we are lucky to have this resource. So, as part of our Main Street. So thank you, Shannon, for that update, and we'll be talking more about that sort of stuff. The last, at least scheduled update that we have, I'm going to let Elsie take it away as far as the last initiative that we're really going to be doing a deep dive into next week. So, Elsie.
Sure. Hi. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Great. So I am just giving an update on the safe reopen boxes is what we've been calling it. However it looks, it may not be a concrete and actual physical box, but the idea around pulling together resources that help businesses as they are reopening. Some of you are already open, but to support your reopening based on the survey that Betsy coordinated, which was amazing. We are honing in on certain items that were a clear need, a clear need, and so we're looking at sourcing and pulling together all these identified supplies, creating checklists and resource lists and whatnot to provide a variety of information. Some of the things that were identified in early conversations have already gotten out there, like this exterior signage that Nicole and the team have been working so beautifully on. Some of the other main items now that we're looking at is disinfectant that meets the standards, face coverings and or masks, and looking at really both face coverings and medical sort of grade masks that provide a little higher level of protection, hand sanitizer, and interior signage, and then gloves, and thinking through that in terms of sort of what the right focus is there, and how to support businesses figuring out sort of what the best way is to utilize gloves safely. So those are primarily the items we're focused on, and many of the folks on the call have offered and have resources that we'll be able to sort of connect on. So we're really grateful for that, and more to come soon. So and we'll also look at distributing it, and so that you don't have to, businesses who are busy just running your businesses don't have to go out and find the place to go. So again, it may not be a single time box. It might be resources coming at various times, but we'll make it as easy as possible for folks and get it to you as quickly as possible, and then continue to listen and hear about what more might be helpful.
Yeah, I think that is a perfect synopsis, Elsie, of the first sort of formal conversation we had via Zoom yesterday to get some of the pieces and moving parts in motion. And again, I will say, if anyone is particularly interested in helping with that initiative, we will, things such as delivery, helping to assemble, however it works out, it's still very much in an organic form, but it is taking off, and we are always welcoming of help. So if anyone's particularly interested, just let us know.
And Peter, we saw your hand raised, and we have you already on the list. Thank you so much for reaching out and being so proactive about supporting the distribution. Thank you.
Yeah, Peter was part of the distribution team of the posters last week, as well as a couple of other board members. So it was really great to we have a very active working board. Quite a few of our board members are on the call today, so it's really great to have their support and their willingness to dig in so quickly. I think that that is where we are with a lot of these initiatives. I know that maybe it doesn't seem like it's a lot, but it's a lot to coordinate these things and to figure out all of the parts and pieces and the details around them. So we are busily working, trying to help folks. And the other thing too to keep in mind is that I believe that a lot of businesses were in this place of kind of thinking about the next wave of reopening, and a lot of businesses are waiting until that June 1 mark to reopen. So we're going to see a next wave, hence the reason why we printed out more posters today, and we'll be distributing them tomorrow, just because we know that a lot of these businesses, you know, are getting ready to jump off on Monday, and we just want to make sure that they have the posters so that there's a unified look in downtown, which is hopefully going to translate to an ease for the visitors to our community. Seeing the same signs over and over again with the same message is going to hopefully encourage people to feel comfortable and maybe even open their wallet in some of your businesses. So that's really important, of course, at this time. So in the interest of moving on, we are at a place where, again, we're just going to, oh, wait a minute, I have one more announcement. I had almost forgotten about this. We have sort of thought, and again, looking for everyone's input, we wanted to see how everyone would feel about moving these calls to biweekly. So we would have them still, but have them every other week. As it feels like a lot of you folks are getting busy with trying to salvage and make sense of what summer might look like. And so we thought that we didn't want to let go of this because so many great things have come as a result of it, but we really wanted to possibly maybe offer some breathing room for you folks to be able to focus on actually doing the work rather than just talk about doing the work. So if people are open to every other week, we'll still do the same thing of organizing, sending out emails, sending out reminder emails. I'm seeing Tom with a thumbs up. If anybody else thinks that this is a good move, we want to hear from you. If you still want us to do it weekly, we're open to doing that as well. But I've seen 4 thumbs up so far, 5, 6, 7, 8, and it looks like we have 20 people on the call. So if I could have 2 more thumbs up, it looks like we've got at least half. Thank you, Sarah. And thank you, Julie. Okay, it seems like people are in support of that. I was hoping that we were doing a good job of reading our audience. So thank you, everyone. It's going to allow us more time, hopefully, to do great things with turnaround on these projects and these initiatives. So thank you. All right. In the interest of moving on, I want to open the floor to additional ideas and having sort of fostering an open discussion place where you folks can ask questions and just sort of free for all so that everybody can sort of hear you folks with where you're at. So if anyone has anything that they want to start off with.
I just wanted to point out, I'm sure most of you are aware, but the state does occasionally change the guidelines and checklists for different sectors. So it is a good idea to be paying attention to your trade association if you're a part of one, because they will send updates, but also just checking back on the Department of Economic and Community Development site where you first found the guidelines periodically. And the state is, when they make those changes, they mark it that a change has been made, and then it's marked in red. So you don't have to read the entire document and try to figure out what the changes. They're trying to make it clear what those are. And those changes are happening as a result of experience and continued research on how this virus is transmitted between people. So just a good reminder to check back frequently and make sure you're still following those guidelines. A bunch of them changed this week is why I was mentioning it.
All right, Dale.
So I'll just quickly answer the question about the city closing off areas for pickup and dining. That is being managed. I don't have a direct answer, but that's being managed as businesses approach the city. The city's willing to work with businesses. So again, I would just encourage anybody that wants to use the sidewalks, public spaces, retail, restaurants, to just connect with the city. Dwight probably would be a good person to start with, or Jana. They'll meet with you and try to work it out and make that happen. So it's really based on those requests as they come in. And the other thing is that I have an ask that of the Heart of Ellsworth. As everybody knows, not all sectors of businesses or business sectors are open yet. Some are still continue to be closed off. And I think that if you look at the conditions in Hancock County and certainly the surrounding counties, we certainly meet the criteria that the state established at the beginning: downward flu-like conditions, COVID-like symptoms, decreased hospitalizations, we have 0, and hospital capacity and increased testing. All of those conditions have been met. And there are businesses in our community that are ready to open safely, but can't. And so I think it would be important for a letter to go to the state with this request for waiver, given the conditions that we have in our area, to allow those businesses to do the same thing that you all are doing in terms of a safe reopening, including fitness centers, and other businesses. So that was a request I wanted to put forward to this group to see if the willingness to sign off and support that kind of ask.
I think that that sort of thing will definitely have to go in front of our board. Definitely not a decision for the executive director to make on their own. I think that it's a fair request, and I can put in an email to our board and see where their thoughts are on that. Dale, are you specifically, I heard you make the request for fitness centers. The one thing I can say is that if I were to use just that example in relaying this, this request to the board, they may say to me, that's not a business that we have represented in downtown. So are there other examples that you could provide of what you're kind of clarifying exactly what it is that you are wanting Heart of Ellsworth?
Yeah, well, yeah, I think it's a broader. I realize that not all the businesses. There are bars, there are nail salons. My feeling is that the business community, including the downtown businesses in Ellsworth, we've met the criteria as a community. And to be supportive of one another, to be supportive of businesses across the area has some impact and has some meaning. And so there are businesses that are not able to open that are downtown currently. And if they can be done in a safe way, we should have the opportunity for those businesses to present that and support it. So I just, so the question, what dates for businesses? It varies. It's been delayed. Fitness centers, and you do have the Y is certainly in the area.
How about Fogtown?
Fogtown is another one.
And they have outdoor seating, and they can't open till July.
And June 1st was supposed to be for fitness centers. It's decisions are being made. The governor said that they could make regional decisions. And the regional facts of our area are very different than they are for Cumberland County. And I just think that kind of advocacy would be important.
Well, we certainly
Dale, have you talked directly to the governor's office? Have people talked to the governor's office?
I haven't recently. I've had conversations in the past with Commissioner Johnson when we first advocated for a faster reopening, which we were successful as a community to get because of the conditions. So it would seem like there would be the same kind of receptivity to where we are now.
I think Nicole, yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to thank you, Dale, for bringing this up. And I'd like to weigh in on a bit that these specific businesses that have been described, a lot of them have been working with me and with Louis to communicate. I know the YMCA statewide has actual paid lobbyists working on this front. I've spearheaded, an initiative, I guess I would say, for other fitness centers like our 2 CrossFits that I'm working on statewide with other reps and senators. In terms of Fogtown, they're working with the Maine Brewers Guild and also with our rep and our senator, who are both brewers. So we're trying to make progress on those fronts. And I just wanted to make everyone aware of the fact that the businesses are advocating through channels that we have found to be effective in this reopening process. There's certainly no guarantees because there are different risks associated with different activity types. But from our end, we're definitely making those strides with, significant effort toward outlining what that would look like, as opposed to just saying like, please let us reopen, but, here are examples of protocols and things like that. So certainly up to this group how to chime in on that if you'd like to, but I did want to make it known that those efforts are happening for a lot of the sectors.
What we can do is, again, since the board would really need to weigh in on writing any formal letter that would come on behalf of the organization. Dale, I will take your thoughts and specific examples and requests back to the board and discuss with them sort of next steps and how they want to go about that. And I will make sure that I get back to you. I think I'm going to give myself a little bit of space here. I'm going to need at least 2 or 3 days to connect with everybody on our board, but happy to do that. I'm sure the latest I would have an answer for you would be Tuesday. Hopefully it will be Monday, June 1st. So I will link back on that. And if anyone on this call that is not on our board has an idea one way or the other, or maybe what you would like to say, please do weigh in and either write me an email or connect via the chat here, and I can connect with you afterwards. And again, bring your thoughts and ideas back to our board. We've had a couple of questions come in. One from Lass. Where can we go on a daily basis to find out about infections in Hancock County? And is there a running list on who is open and who isn't, especially as we may have to close again if cases go up? I don't know if anyone on this call could take that question. Great question, Lass.
I can post the link in a minute here about checking up on the county data from the state website. I'll do that in a second.
And then the second half of your question, Lass, is there a running list on who is open and who isn't? I think the chamber has a pretty good list that they've been really keeping active. That whole initiative is far beyond Heart of Ellsworth's reach to be able to keep up with a one part-time staff person. So that is one initiative that we have not been able to fulfill for our community. However, it would have been a duplication of efforts anyway, because the city had a list as well as the chamber, and I know that the both of them were working very closely to keep those lists updated. So I would suspect, Lass, that is up on their website. Oh, it looks like we had a question from Lori. Do we have any yoga studios? Was another question, Lass. Yes, I believe there are 3 in downtown Ellsworth. Betsy, you are the yoga queen on this call, so maybe you could chime in on how many there are. Are there 3?
I don't know the specific number. At least 2 that I'm aware of are in the downtown area. Quiet Strength Yoga has a studio, and we put her in touch with Steamy Buddha, who is 50 Church Street, Natasha Sidhu. And Natasha's planning on renting a big tent and having outdoor yoga under the tent for 9 participants, so plus the instructor makes 10. And FYI, they're working on outdoor seating for their Steamy Buddha Cafe. But yes, yoga is probably going to try and be linked together under a tent or outdoors somehow this summer.
Thank you for that synopsis, Betsy, of yoga studios. The other question that we had kind of come in, and Paul, not to put you on the spot, but I have had a couple of questions regarding Lower Franklin Street. If you're not prepared to speak about it at this time, I'm totally calling you out. You do not have to. However, if you are willing to kind of update us, we'd love an update.
Sure. So this is still in the, I'll call it the exploratory stage, but all the participants are feeling like this is something we want to move forward with. And just to back up to the beginning, we had a Zoom meeting that was initiated by Jana Richards a couple weeks ago, our city's economic development director. And she reached out to all the downtown restaurants about to see what the city could do to provide any kind of accommodations for outdoor dining. And it was a pretty, it was a great conversation. There were a lot of ideas that were floated and talked about. But what ended up, and she specifically wanted to offer, said the city would be willing to close Lower Franklin Street, where the Taste of Ellsworth has been held the last 3 years, if any downtown restaurants were interested in using it. So the discussion progressed, and it turned out that there were 2 restaurants that were interested in operating out of that space, and that was Provender and Finn's. And so the staff and owners of the both restaurants have been talking with each other since then. We just had a meeting right before this meeting, right down there on Franklin Street. The way the plan is taking shape now, we would have to put a proposal to the city to get actual final approval. This is all tentative right now, but what we're thinking of trying to do is get a tent from Wallace Events, and Wallace Events, Jake and Brian have been very willing to work with us and help make it financially feasible to do this. But put up a tent that would be in use from whenever we start doing this. It might be mid-June until, say, mid-October. So, we're talking about potentially a 4-month period. It would have city issues. And run that tent as an extension of the dining rooms of each of the 2 restaurants. So it would help mitigate the problem of having very limited capacity in the 2 restaurants for indoor seating. And it could also, the main benefit of this, because it would be logistically pretty challenging, but I think both restaurants are willing to do it because they think it would be great for the city. It would get a lot of positive attention on our downtown. It would resonate out to all the other businesses in the city, and it would just be really kind of a cool thing, to have 2 restaurants sharing a space, doing some degree of collaboration on the space, but having the 2 separate businesses. So again, don't take this as an announcement that it's definitely going to happen, because there's a lot of, we're not there yet. We're still haven't, both restaurants want to do it, but we haven't committed to trying to do it. But once we do that, we have to, like I said, gain permission. There's been tentative permission given to this project by the city's management and the public safety departments, but and the council hasn't voted on it. So there's still some, hurdles to get over, but I think that's what we're looking at doing. And I have to say, I think the city is, it's really great that this was initiated by the city. And I think I take that as a very positive sign of how the city's willing to support anything they can do to help us all get through this.
I will also say.
So are there any follow-up questions to that?
I think the one question was a pretty specific question about whether or not any restaurant could eat there, and could the city help with costs. And I think all I wrote to everyone was just that those details have yet to be worked out. I think that there's a possibility and an open door or window for a conversation on both of those fronts. And just like you said, Paul, I think those details have yet to be worked out.
Yeah. The initial conversations and from that Zoom meeting that Janice set up, and afterwards with, reaching out to some of the restaurants that would be potentially want to use that space. There didn't appear to be any at the time who wanted to use that space as an extension of their own dining rooms. So, so then the conversation kind of shifted to, okay, how would Provender and Finn's use it? And then with the alcohol service part of it, that presents requirements to limit access to people. And, there's rules and laws around serving alcohol in a space, so it has to be secured by the establishments that are serving it. I mean, we are certainly, there would be room in that tent if, say, Riverside wanted to have a section of it, or 86 this, or Serendib, or whoever. But as it stands now, the only two businesses that were interested in using it, as far as we could tell, were the two I mentioned.
In addition to everything that Paul has just said, Paul, thank you for the update and allowing yourself to be called on sort of on the spot. This initiative sort of slipped my mind, so I'm glad that that you were willing to do my bidding, I guess, and making an update. Thank you. I just want to also announce, in conjunction with this, I was on a statewide call yesterday, actually part of the Maine Build conference, because Heart of Ellsworth is an affiliate community of the Maine Downtown Center. The Maine Downtown Center, each year they sponsor the Maine Build conference, and we receive one free ticket each year to participate. So over the course of the next 5 weeks, we will be on these statewide calls and presentations. They've made their sessions available online this year. The conference is online. So yeah, it is. It's pretty cool, Betsy. We're really excited to start to see some great things happen as a result of us being affiliated with the Maine Downtown Center and the Maine Development Foundation. So to that, this came up on a statewide call, this very concept of businesses, specifically eateries, working in conjunction with the municipalities to make this happen. And from my understanding of the 90 people that were on that call, if Ellsworth can crack this nut, this will be huge for our city. A lot of other cities have tried to do other things, but nothing specifically with an area like Lower Franklin Street. So Heart of Ellsworth is super passionate about doing whatever we can do to help the eateries and to work with the city and whoever else is interested in this initiative to make this happen. This is a huge opportunity to, again, put Ellsworth on the map. We got a shout out for being on the call yesterday. They're really excited to see Ellsworth representation on these statewide calls and initiatives. So we're super psyched to be part of it and to hear about ideas and things that are happening in other communities so that we can implement them here as well. So I just wanted to open the floor again to just see if there's anyone else that has any ideas or things that they want to promote or things to talk about. We're about 14 minutes out from the end of the call, and yeah, the floor is open.
I would like to share something. This is Crystal Hitchings.
Hey, Crystal. Yeah, go ahead.
Video here. Hi, I'm Crystal Hitchings with Sunrise County Economic Council in Machias and Down East Acadia Regional Tourism, which covers both Washington and Hancock County. And our normal role is promotion of the region to visitors from other parts of Maine and from across the nation and the world. But currently, we are, like all of you, trying to figure out how to help our businesses in ways that also align with our mission and directives. So in partnership with Sunrise County Economic Council and the Maine Woods Consortium, it's not quite, I don't quite have the whole document to share yet, but we're putting together a series of online digital skills trainings, including for businesses, how to build a website if you don't have one, social media marketing, transitioning to online sales and learning how to manage that, and then more advanced things as you go along, like SEO and stuff like that. And for some businesses, through the Maine Woods Consortium, we'll be able to offer maybe 20 businesses a couple of follow-up sessions, one-on-one, where they have one session with a consultant and they are left with a report of things that they should work on with their digital tools, and then another follow-up to see how they're doing. And we're trying to find the resources to also offer this to businesses in Hancock County. We have enough funding for about 4, unfortunately, but perhaps through Hancock County, some consultants in that area could be worked with. And so I want to share that. I'll share it through Cara. And the online Zoom trainings are open to anyone.
Excellent, Crystal. Yeah, we're happy to help promote those. We have a pretty healthy email list that seems to reach quite a few people, and a monthly newsletter. And we would love to, in any way, shape, or form, partner with you folks to help widen the net of folks who could partake in that initiative, and in any way that we can help get some education to our downtown businesses. We are happy to do that. So awesome.
100%.
Thank you for being on the call today. I know I've been bugging you for a while to be on here, so thank you for.
I totally forgot about it last week.
It's okay.
Had our conversation 2 hours earlier.
I'm just happy to see your face, and I think folks are excited to see a new face and another resource. That's the key here. So
yes, and I think a lot of people don't know that we're here to help both counties. So I have lots to share. I'll do it through Cara.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal. And if anyone wants any follow-up on that, feel free to stick that in the chat. I usually go through it afterwards and try to use that as my to-do list to get back to everybody. Last, to answer your question, she's not a business. Crystal, maybe you could just give a 2-sentence synopsis of what you do and who you represent.
Sure. So I'll speak from Down East Acadia Regional Tourism perspective, I think. So that is a collaboration of tourism and economic development and education-related organizations and businesses that are interested in promoting the region to build networks, share resources, but also bring visitors to the region and economic development through tourism. And we're funded by Maine Office of Tourism, again with the directive marketing promotion too.
Thank you, Crystal. Unless there is anyone else who has anything that they'd like to share or questions to ask, I'm going to move on to action items. And it looks like everybody's okay. All right. So just to review the action items from earlier in the call, we are working on the safe reopening boxes with Healthy Acadia and a couple of other community partners. And we again open it up if anyone is interested in helping with that initiative on any level. Please just stick your name and your email address in the chat, and I will be able to, and also indicate which of these next 3 initiatives that you're interested in being a part of. So we have the safe reopening boxes, we have the cleaning and online tutorial with Healthy Acadia and Ellsworth Adult Education and other community members that are on this call. And the other thing is, from the poster initiative left over from that, we're still working on distribution. So in addition to Heart of Ellsworth board members who have so generously donated their time to helping us sort of pound the pavement on Main Street, if anyone is interested, needs one, or is interested in helping to distribute those, we are always looking for community volunteers. So, so those are the 3. And as far as next steps, it seems to me that I overwhelmingly heard that the future of this group, the big change right now, is twice a month, that we are going to be meeting twice a month, and that everybody seems really cool with it. If things go to a new place, so we had Scott and Susan Mayer sort of address last week on the call, if we go into a place of another round. Unfortunately, with an outbreak here in Down East, we certainly will be looking at increasing the calls in any way, shape, or form, being able to support you folks as business owners, building owners, and just downtown concerned citizens. So let's hope that does not happen. But it looks like, yeah, I think, Betsy, I think you're right. I think the next meeting would be June 12th. So we will, don't worry, we'll be sending out emails. And
I don't know if you know this yet, but just what you, every other week or twice monthly is like just slightly different in terms of when 5 weeks come into play. Do you envision it being every other week or like the first and the third Fridays? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I do know what you mean. And I'm glad you said that because I hadn't thought that far through it. Thank you for that. I don't know. I guess that can be sort of determined by the group, but at the same time, I suppose if I was shooting from the hip, I would say every other week, meaning every other Friday, that we would still, and we also are open to totally changing the time, the day. I mean, and if people feel like that's necessary for more people to participate, moving it to an evening per se, you know, we're open to it. We're all sort of doing our thing. So I'm trying to be flexible so we can accommodate as many of you folks as possible is really, that's our ultimate goal. So.
That's a good point to raise, Cara. It may make a difference, I don't know, to people where it's a Friday as the season starts to be more open. I don't know if that's, I know that used to be a very busy day at the bank from noon on. People were coming to get their change and all different things and making their deposits from the week and prepping for the weekend and so forth. So I don't know if Noontime Fridays is going to remain good through July and August for people or not, but that's a good point to raise.
Well, actually, I'm glad you said that because as much as I don't want to do another survey, if Betsy's in for another round of surveying the community with me, maybe we'll come up with 4 questions. And if you're willing to help me out with that, Betsy, because it's a big undertaking to do a survey. I know that it is annoying probably for folks, but we always have about 50% of you folks that are emailed and asked fill it out, which is a very high success rate when you're talking about national survey averages. So maybe we'll do that.
I know it's hard to change the date and time because we've kind of gotten in a ritual here, but maybe, you know, we can adapt. I have no idea what people's preference is, so I think that was a smart thing to raise. And I don't know about time of day either. Like, I think
Well,
the
the survey
restaurant
can determine that. I think we can put a couple of options out there and have the survey determine that and make the survey super simple so that it's easy for the people who are taking it. That's the key to getting high return is us doing the heavy lifting work and making it simple. I see Betsy nodding her head, so it looks like maybe she's willing to work with me on that. So, so to that, it may be we have a little bit more room since we've decided to do we've decided to go twice a month or however it is that we determine. So we've got a little bit of room to get this out there and to get folks to, and maybe we'll get a whole new demographic of folks who will participate. That would be very exciting, you know, in addition to all of you folks. So. To that, I'm thinking, unless anyone else has anything else that they'd like to say or questions that they have or just general announcements, we might be able to end a little early today, maybe 4 or 5 minutes early. All right, well, it looks like we're all good. Please know that my email address is always open. Happy to hear from you folks. And I can be found on the heartofellsworth.org website. That is my email, sort of part of my email portal. So feel free to email me. Continue with your ideas. Tom Beal, keep generating your ideas because you definitely have got some good ones. So always happy to hear, and I just need more hours in the day to implement them. So keep them coming. Thank you everybody for being on here. And I hope you all have a fabulous weekend. Thanks for participating. Thanks, folks.
Thanks.